and good morning. Now I'll try to move the camera closer. So I am currently at the Mountain Lodge or Mountain Hotel, I would say is the right word. I will move the camera even closer. Hi there. The reason why it's dark is that it's nighttime. From New York. Hi there. Good evening. Can you hear me? Because I'm kind of not speaking very loud. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I am at the Mountain Lodge and we come here. Normally, this is we come here twice a year normally, and this is the it's Hafjell, which is for a little bit north up from where we live. Well, it's about 5 hours drive. And this is a hotel, and it's in an area that we like a lot, and we are going to have a look at properties here while we are here. Hi there. Hello everyone. How are you doing? I am a little bit tired. I have been going through some emails. Sadly, I also had to check the work email, but it was not much there. But I have been going through the other email accounts as well. Thank you. Yes, the Viking hiking kit video is doing well, and it's helping the channel as well. The main channel, it's helping that channel a lot. So yeah, one thing I have to say is that as we speak, the main channel is reaching 115,000 subscribers, and as you know, I did a book tour, and there were other authors there, and also the people from the publishing house here in Norway. They were also talking about some of the other books that they are publishing this fall here in Norway. And one of those books is written by a Norwegian YouTuber, a young girl, and they in the presentation they say, and she's one of the largest YouTubers in Norway, and I had to check how many subscribers. 115,000. So I thought, okay, I need 115,000, and now it's we're there, 115,000 as we speak. So I do understand there's a little bit of a difference. No, not familiar with that YouTuber. No. There's a bit of a difference because she speaks in Norwegian, and yeah, we need 200,000. I agree. So there's a little bit of a difference. I'm sure that she has a lot more Norwegian subscribers than I do, and it's not really important. It's not like it's a competition, so it's Beerman Reviews says I have 150 followers. Yes, well, it's a little bit like this when it comes to followers here on YouTube. For me, my main channel is part of my work. Yeah, small steps, absolutely. It's and I view very only a few months after I started it, I understood that I have to view this as part of my work, as part of my marketing as a novelist. That when you think when you when you approach your YouTube channel in that way, it becomes a little bit different because obviously you put a lot of time and money into it and you dedicate yourself. Not saying that people with smaller channels are not dedicated. I'm not saying that at all. But for me, I understood I had to do everything I could to make that channel grow. So because I view it as maybe the most important uh, channel for reaching out to people, and some of those people will become readers. They will buy my books, and that's how I make money. Um, if it takes one question here, if it takes a long time to make videos like the Viking themed videos, well, it depends. The Viking hiking kit video didn't take that long actually because I already had all the gear, obviously. So all I had to do was um, to pack my gear into the basket and take my clothes on, um, and then head out into the woods. It did rain that day, so I had to wait, and I had to, if you've seen the video on this channel, that video I did just after I had filmed the raw material for the Viking hiking kit video. You will see the camera, you will see a plastic bag, that I put over the camera because of the rain. So it's like it never gets 100% authentic because I obviously have to have a camera. And so, you know, well, thank you. Thanks a lot. Um, let's see here. Yeah, well, when it comes to my books being published in English, it's going to happen. But I have now cancelled my contract with my literary agent. So there are other offers from other agents, and I now have to take steps to have my books published in English. That's just going to it needs to happen. Hello from Colorado. Hello from Norway. Again, I'm sorry about the light or the lack of such here in this video. It is nighttime. I sometimes have trouble sleeping because I have lots of headache, and yeah. So then I have to sit. Then when you sit, you can, it's boring just to sit there, So I read, or now I checked the emails because it was like lots of them, and I was reminded. Lots of you are asking about my hat. Hello from Montreal in Canada. And it's 4:42 here in the UK. Says Bedeman, working on night shift, so he's making time go by. Seeks all. Thank you. It's a lot better now, but yeah. I think it will improve during these days. This week we are staying here until Friday, and we are basically going to hike in the hills here. We can't. Our dog isn't. She's like 100 years old, so she won't be hiking up in the hills. We will only take her for shorter walks. But our kids are, um, they are they are not so small anymore, so they can stay at a hotel with her, and yeah, it's going to be wonderful up here for a few days now. It's good. I've been looking forward to this for so long, and my new book, that's the Norwegian. The Norwegian edition is published first, obviously, because you have to translate into the other languages and so on. It has I think it's reaching the bookstores like today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and I believe the official launch date is the 5th of October on Saturday. So that's, even I think what the publisher, what they do is that they want to make sure that the book is out in the stores, and then they do the launch. Like I'm not really totally. It's not my job to put it that way. But they are doing a great job on that. So, but anyway, on Saturday in like 6 days, is it? That's the launch date, and from then on, and the rest of the year will be quite busy, and yeah, quite busy. I'm kind of looking forward to that. There's a book tour in Germany coming up, and yeah. Now, there is a threat when it comes to these live streams. There's a threat, and there's one thing that might force me to stop doing these live streams, and that's just it's the same reason why I've on purpose not taken any steps to make this second channel grow, because I kind of don't want, how should I put it, if a reader on the chat here writes something, about a scene in one of my books, or a question about details in my books, like a particular detail, or even worse, like, oh, I think you made a mistake there or there in that book. What that would mean is that I would have to go stop the live stream and start working, start checking, and things like that can easily take like 1 or 2 weeks. Now, it's not about spoilers. I don't want spoilers anymore. I don't want spoilers, but the worst part is that I would have to go and fact check things in my books that are already published, which is a problem in itself, because no publisher is very fond of authors who, come with, oh, I have yet another thing I want to change for the next print, before the next print, and so on. And at this point, I've written 19 novels, and as you can understand, if I am going to be responding, if I'm getting questions like that, or people who point out, oh, I think there's a mistake there, you made a mistake, um, then I can't write. I can't write the next novel because it frustrates the hell out of me, to be honest. Um, Once it's done, it's done. Yes, but it's incredibly, it's insane how frustrating it is not to know, because I can't remember every single page I've written, and then I will go and fact check because it's the only way to, it's not, that's the, I will ask you not to do that, you know. Even Stephen King revised books. Yes, he's infamous for doing that. But my, I would say that, well, it's not my opinion. It's like I write these huge sagas, and if I make one correction here, I have to fact check several things, and we're talking about reading hundreds of pages, um, checking for those things there. So, as I said, um, if that happens, I will have to stop live streaming. So you can imagine that's just the way it is, and it's a problem you get when you write big sagas that stretches through like many volumes. So I will ask you kindly to respect that, and yeah, I'm not promoting this smaller channel. It's something I do because I think I enjoy. Well, it's because I enjoy it basically, and um, we'll see how it goes. Outside now, it's snowing. It's the first snow of this winter. Um, yeah, and yesterday I bought a new woolen sweater. I think it's very nice, but it says here Amundsen. That's the brand actually. Amundsen, the famous polar explorer. He was a bit of a psycho, not a very nice man. He wasn't. Um, so okay, yes. Let me see now. I'll try also to respond to your chats here. Is it chats, comments? Good morning to David. So okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm very happy that there are no more all the rest of the stage appearances. Oh, thank you all, thank you. Yeah, well, and also one last thing about when people comment on your details in your books. I don't think I have ever. I fact check. I did I make a mistake, but I never have found a mistake. And people have these conceptions about things in the Viking Age, especially, and normally they are wrong. So, that's why I avoid certain people in Viking markets and so on, because I know they will pick on things and they will have opinions and they will say things that are not correct, and I still have to fact check. So, but anyway, let's talk about something else, something different. Yeah, I'm very glad that I have no more. All the rest of the stage appearances is without any other authors on stage with me, because I did that now here for 2 weeks, and maybe there was a little bit of a, yeah, well, I don't want to get into details, but it was basically kind of frustrating for several reasons. If I said something one day, it would be, I would hear the other author saying that almost the exact same thing the day after, and you know, it was a little bit frustrating. But anyway, I am not sure if I will be making a video from up here. It's seems like the videos that are doing well on my main channel are only Viking themed videos and videos with some kind of, what should I say, not controversial topic, but a topic that ranks high in the, you know, that kind of trending. It's just the way it works, you know. So typically the videos that I have made from up here, they haven't done well, like they've actually done very badly. So it does take a lot of effort to make videos when I'm up here with my kids and with my family. So I don't know. Maybe I won't be making a video up here. Maybe I'll film a little bit and put that in another video. I don't know yet. The controversial Viking. Well, thank you, Trish. Yeah, well, I don't worry so much about making videos when I'm up here. The next video on my main channel will be probably a Viking themed video, as well as the Viking hiking kit video. Now let's see here. Okay, I'll scroll up to those comments. But what I'm going to do in the next video is that I'm going to show you the third Jomsviking novel, because I got the first copies. Well, some of the first copies. So I'll just show and tell in that video. But the video won't be about that. I will do as I have done with the in some of the other videos, where I say, by the way, here is the Swedish edition of the first Jomsviking novel, for instance, you know. Yeah, Wolfbert, I know. And that nonsense took an undue amount of energy from you to deal with. I know it did. Could you make, Samantha is asking, could you make a video about Viking foods and Viking cooking the old ways? Yes, I am planning to do that, but it will be simple food. You know, making Viking food is Viking aged food. That's something that would take quite a lot of preparation. You have to buy the ingredients, and I'm actually a very bad cook. I'm not good at making food at all, but I can do some simple stuff, I guess. You know. Loch Ness Monster writes, simple food is best because I'm simple. Loki says your ancestor Knut Bull did some great paintings of Hobart. Artistic DNA runs in the family, we think so. Well, thank you. Knife review, I have done that in several actually. So you'll find them on the main channel. No one else in your family is a good cook. Well, uh, yeah, worst cook in the boreal rainforest. Yeah, I can make a great bacon sandwich. My wife is quite a good cook, you know. So Kevin Little says, I just saw this is going on, just tuned it in, I missed it. A Viking Axe review, well, yeah, lots of ideas here now. Yeah, we'll see, we'll see. David says, personally, I would love to see more of a beautiful, oh, that beautiful boat of yours. Well, thank you. Yeah, and that's, but it's funny. It's I have to think about the views as well on the main channel. Um, I have to think about the views on the main channel as well. And there's this strange thing. If you do something different, then sometimes that goes down the drains, you know, with the views, and that drags the whole channel down. I'm not a big fan of how YouTube has made this whole system work, you know. It promotes, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan, but I have to, well, I don't know. I have to take into account how it works, the whole thing there. It's easier to make a video that gets 100 views than to make a video that gets 10,000 views. Yes, I wouldn't call it experimental archaeology, but through handling Viking Age tools, Samantha, if I could try to build a authentic Viking boat, well, or ship, well, I would need a village and 1 year for that. Yeah, well, I would say that there's a lot of misinformation going around, and it stems from people having no practical knowledge of what they're talking about, basically. One thing, there are many things, but you know, one thing is that your shoes, if you used shoes, or and you know, many during the Viking Age, I think they actually went into battle barefoot, because it gives you a much better grip, and they were used to going barefoot in the woods and so on. But the shoes, we tend to think from a perspective of someone who walks on asphalt, you know, solid ground with good grip and rubber soles. But it's different when you have leather soles under your shoes. It's much more slippery, and that affects how you move. Things like that. If you haven't experienced it yourself, it's very difficult to know and understand. And you will have people writing about Viking battle who have never even held an axe. It's insane. I'm not saying I'm a big expert on these topics. I'm a student of these topics, and I will remain a student my entire life. But I've seen people who claim to be experts who have no practical knowledge of this at all. So, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Perhaps what I do, maybe, if that is what you're referring to, historical experimental work, yes. Greetings from Oklahoma, Central USA. Well, thank you, David. The socks is The socks is, yeah, I like it. I've used it a lot. And I probably use it much more in a rough way. You know, I use it for processing firewood. It's not really designed for that, but um, I didn't bring it. I don't bring an axe because I know I can use that socks. Actually, um, but I have to tell you, the socks I got from Grimfrost broke. It did, and I should have mentioned that because I did promote that socks. I thought it was a great piece of gear, you know, for bushcrafting, but it just snapped. So, you know, but I can't really make a video just to tell you that, you know. But it snapped. Something with the steel, I guess. That was, it was heat treated incorrectly. I'm sitting in a hotel. Danax versus swords. Well, it takes a lot more skill to handle a Danax. I would say it was probably considered the most advanced weapon, close combat weapon during that age. And it has a larger reach. You would use it a bit differently in battle than the combination of sword and shield. Now let's see, I'm getting into more practical use of sword and shield myself. I haven't spent much time with that because I consider it not to be that much of a Viking thing actually. I know everyone is thinking about Vikings, you know. When they think about Vikings, they think about the sword, but I don't think the sword was very common. Actually, the axe was much more common. Kevin will be ordering a custom pouch from Hamish Odinson soon. He does great work. Yes, my small pouch he made that. What sort of music I listen to? Well, it depends. I listen to if we don't talk about what I listen to when I write, because I do listen to some music when I write. There can be no words in that music for obvious reasons, you know. I like actually lately I've been listening to Dimmu Borgir and Amon Amart. I listened to Amon Amart on the way up here, driving up here, using my headset. The rest of my family isn't that fond of that music. So I didn't sit with my headset on for the entire time, you know. But only for half an hour. Now, Six says, and this is in Nick, did all Scandinavians have cinnamon or chocolate? I'm working in a hotel now. Well, who knows? I don't think so, but you know, it's like I don't like absolutes when it comes to the Viking Age because they traveled far. But I wouldn't say, you know, that was something you would probably never have seen that, you know, if you were Scandinavian. I might be wrong, but it's not something, yeah. And to be honest, I don't know when chocolate was. I think it's very old, you know, but who knows? I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm no, I'm okay with that socks breaking because I had another one, um, and yeah, but it's and it was given to me by Grimfrost, and I was a bit upset actually because uh, yeah, because it broke. But Mats, a friend of mine, was there, and he had he had a similar socks, and that didn't break. So, but anyway, will you be doing more in depth on the stone circles? Well, I could do that, and I have to. If I skip some um, comments here, questions, I'm sorry. I just have to keep up with um, the conversation here. Seek says looked up videos about Vikings today, found only propaganda. Yeah, well, I know. Um, what can I say? Yeah, chocolate South American. Um, uh, moving fast now. Greetings from Puerto Rico. Well, thank you. Brian says, I love your life coaching videos on your other channel. They are life breath. They are like a breath of fresh air. Thanks. Thanks. Well, thank you. Chocolate is a new world food. Yes, I know. But they did go there, to North America at least. So um, now let's see here. Yeah, I'm fascinated by Tyr as well. I've actually written 3 novels where he is the main character. Um, he's a very old deity, and he's probably less important as the Viking age moved on. He became less important, probably, but he's a very old Germanic deity. Very important to me personally, obviously. I've written about him. Unless you're a serious student of Viking lore, he seems to be almost forgotten. Well, yeah. It's maybe a chocolate is an example. They used honey, yes. Only curious about food from all times and how they cook it. Yes, they used several spices, but not much. They did have access to spices, but it's just probably not very common. Um, okay, I don't know what a socks is, but good night, all. Um, for instance, people envision Vikings as drinking out of big horns, but probably, it was more common to drink out of glass, like wine glasses, not modern wine glasses, but socks go on your yes, okay. Um, how do you break a sock? It's very soft, isn't it? Yeah. Well, for those of you for those of you who just joined this live stream, I'm up here in a little bit further north, up in Norway. I am sitting in the hotel dining area, actually, and we will be staying here for a few days. It's very early, so breakfast hasn't started yet, but they are making the breakfast ready now. It looks like it. So over there, and yeah, well, I couldn't sleep because of a headache, so I got up. If I brought my tarp, no, um, it's not popular if dad goes out bushcrafting and spending the night out in the hills here. We are here as a family, and the fact, we are staying at a hotel, but we will be going for walks. Well, Bearman, thanks a lot. And it's like I I think that if there are comments here that you find interesting, go and check out the channel, that person's channel. Maybe it's an interesting channel, and go and subscribe. That helps. That helps every YouTuber out a little bit. It's a nice thing to do. Um, Kevin, well, no reason to pay extra for an autographed copy. I will hopefully be traveling to England or the UK and Scotland and North America, and read from my books there, and I will be signing them, and it's not going to cost you anything. Well, except you have to buy the book. But first, I need a publisher. It's, at this point, I think it's hard to tell, but they say that at some point, now how should I explain this? Well, if you have a YouTube channel or you have a social media presence, I can publish my books in English myself and sell directly from a link. I could link from these videos. So I sometimes get smaller publishers will contact me, and or I get smaller channels suggested. Smaller publishers suggested. But then I could just as well. It would be just as good, or better, I would say, if I publish myself, because what I need a publisher for is the distribution, and I need a large distribution for it to be profitable for me, because I could sell from directly. It's the main channel is quite large, so I could sell directly from there. And so if you have a publisher who will aim at selling 1,000 copies, that's not really that's not really they're not getting the publication rights then. Movie adaptation, well, yes. TV series, more likely. I've said no to 2 offers lately for that. And what can I say about these people? The people who have approached me, like TV producers, they think that if they put some money on the table, I'll just sign and they can do what they like. Samantha, well, I won't publish myself because I probably won't, because time. I don't have any more time. I can't. It takes a lot of time. It's not like you can just publish on Amazon and that's that. It takes a lot of time. Perry, well, thank you. You emailed Bernard Cornwall's publishers. I know them well, and the TV series as well. Um, so my agent was not pleased because I just said no, I'm not signing this. They want I'm not I don't want to work with these producers because they think that well, they were a little bit arrogant, to be honest. Um, and when it's sold, it's sold. You can't sell it twice, you know, the rights, the movie rights, the TV rights. You can't sell it twice. So I did not get the impression that they would commit to doing it authentic and true to the novels. So I said no, I'm not signing this, and I don't want your money. Yeah, um, that's in my mind. That has to do with integrity, actually. So other people would call it being stubborn, but it's my books, and you can't come here and just put some money. Not it wasn't that much money. Well, it was a lot of money, but you know, compared to the budget they were talking about, it was like nothing. So no, 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 that would be. I haven't regretted saying no to those offers 1 second. I need the right people to work with this. I need the right people who have proven themselves in the past to understand what books are about. Not some, not you know that's what I need, and I'm prepared to wait if I have to. They'll just end up dressing the Vikings in leather and fur. Yeah, I know, I know. It's well, I do actually wear reindeer fur from time to time. But it's not practical when you're hiking and so on. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to move the camera a little bit. There's this place here is, as I said, it's a hotel, but it's right up. There are nothing surrounding the hotel but hills, so it's very nice up here. I am doing one interview on Wednesday, but they will come here, so I don't have to go anywhere. So that's nice. Apart from that, I'm taking these days off, and yeah, it's ironic really because that interview is part of a series of interviews that they've done. She's making a documentary actually, and she wanted to have a chat about 5G. 5G, the new, the Internet of Things, as they call it. And I am not a fan of that. No, it's not the Overlook Hotel, it's Pellestova. That's what it's called. Which means something like Pelle's little hut, but maybe it was a little hut at one time, but it's a big hotel now. Well, not that big, but it's quite big. Everything here is very expensive. Like the food is, it's insane how expensive it is, but you know, up in the hills. Nothing surrounding it. They can charge. The food was, the dinner last night was excellent, but quite pricey. So they are coming up here on Wednesday, and we are going to talk about 5G and the fact that, you know, there are health risks. Overlook Hotel is from horror movie. Okay. Um, it's a tourist place at this hotel, and it's not because it's. I don't want this to come across as in the wrong way, but it's, you know, a high-end hotel. It's luxurious and all that. But so not many tourists up here actually. But I'm in Norway actually. Yeah. So we're going to talk about 5G and the Internet of Things, and I'm not a fan, and I think that they are the governments who allow this to happen now. They are making a big mistake, and people are going to have to pay with their health. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. I know it's like yeah, now we're getting into the controversial stuff here. It's like people will say 5G has, there are no health uh, issues involved there. It's totally benign. You can't. There are no risk of being damaged in any way from 5G. That's what they're saying, and that's what governments are saying, and that's what the mobile phone companies are saying, and they are pointing at then their research, and they're saying, look at this research. The research, all the research says it's not dangerous at all. But when you look at research, you can see quite clearly that they are plain out lying. Now, I looked into that research, and it's not. It is, well, it's quite obvious. 5G is not good for people, animals, plants, and they shouldn't do it. And the reason why it's a bit ironic is that I'm sitting right underneath a mobile tower. They have to have a mobile tower up here on the roof of the hotel, and I'm using a mobile phone to live stream this. So I'm open for criticism when it comes to that, but I'm also one of those people who have no problem putting the smartphone away. I switch it off. I put it in a sorry, I can't remember what it's called now, but you can put it in. You can buy some kind of like a box. You put it there, and there are no signals, nothing coming out from the cell phone. So I do that, and I use the cell phone. I use the mobile phone when I have to, and that's that. It's the same thing, you know, the thing that they say, well, look at the research, it says it's not dangerous. And if you know, if everyone who knows me, and if you've seen my videos, you know that I care deeply about the environment, and I will go so far to call myself an environmentalist. I'm not, but I am not one of those who will go out in the streets screaming. And when I look at the development now, and you have this kid, well, she's not a kid, she's 16, Greta Thunberg, being used as a puppet for these people, and they are climate, sorry, activists. Hold on. No. Climate activists, and they are pointing at research. They're saying, look at the research. It says that in 10 or 12 years, it will be catastrophic, and they have lots of claims, and they're pointing at research, and the politicians in the UN, United Nations, that corrupt organization there, they are also pointing at research. But when you look at that research, it doesn't say what they're saying. It's a lie. Of course, you can select some researchers who say this and that, and you can twist that a little bit, and you come up with these statements. But it's like what they're saying is just not true, and that hurts the cause that I'm fighting for, the climate, not the climate cause, but the environment. I'm fighting for the environment. And they are hurting our cause that way, because they're lying, and that makes people go, it creates a distance, it creates a large distance, and you will have people responding with, no, there are no issues, we have no issues, we can just go on as we have previously, no issues with the climate, no issues with the environment, everything is fine, we don't have to change anything. Which is also, I believe, a dangerous attitude, because it's this, it's these polar opposites are not wise. We there are lots of things we don't know yet, but I want that this live stream is not about that. I was just, it's like the 5G. It's like these people, they point at research and they say we're fine, and the climate alarmists, they say we're not fine. They point at research, but when you look at the research, you see that these people are either lying straight out, or they have no understanding of statistics or scientific method at all. So let me look at the comments. I hope I didn't ruff any feathers here now. Maybe I did, I don't know. 5G sound a lot like the line-of-sight corporate microwave towers in the 1980s, which fried a lot of technicians' brains. And Gail says everything. Vaughan says everything I've heard about 5G is not good health-wise or for the environment. The birds can't be found anywhere near 5G towers. Tormurk says the politicians only make things worse. Perry, ironically, she's flying all over the world spreading her message. Yeah, that's as a general rule, if I don't know everything about, if are you referring to Greta Thunberg? I haven't I haven't seen all the comments here, but it's like you have to lead by example, and that's why I don't say that people should not use a car, for instance, because I use a car. And I don't say that, well, you should all, I don't know. Yeah, that was the only example I could think of right now, but it's very early in the morning. I use a car, and I have a big car, and we have 2 cars, but one of our cars is electric, actually. But I'm not going to say that you're not allowed to use a car, a petrol car. I have a petrol car, and we need a petrol car because we can't always get to charge the electric car, That's the way it is. So, and also, okay. Okay, let me. big business wants 6G. Uh, well, you know, with the whole thing here, and this is what I'm going to say in that interview on Wednesday. Obviously, I'm not an expert on the technical aspects of 5G, but that interview will be part of a series that, you know, well, I'll link to that when it's out. 5G, yes, okay. Now let's see here. No, sorry, I forgot what I was saying. I'm trying to have no not sound like an idiot while I'm also keeping an eye on the comments. What's the biggest way of generating electricity in Norway? Hydroelectric dams? Do they still burn coal over there? Well, yes, hydroelectric dams. But I don't know. Are we self-sufficient with power now? I think we are. But we also sell, I think, electricity to other parts of the world. We sell a lot of gas and oil, of course. So, yeah. Yes, here, I forgot. What I tried to say was that people think that it's all about the speed. With 5G, everything will be faster. But do you have any need, like in a commentary it said, do we really need to go faster? We don't need to go faster, and I can't see that we have 4G now, and that's plenty fast enough. 5G is not for having things going faster. It's about 5G is about extracting information from us. It's not a service to us. No, it's not. It's about collecting information about every single individual. Where we go, where we move, when we get up from bed, when we open the refrigerator, when we, if you have these so-called smart meters, you know, when we take a shower, when we wash our clothes, when we, it's surveillance, you know, and I think, you know, I live fairly. There's in my private life, so to speak, it's not very exciting, but I still don't. I'm trying to say that I don't really have anything to hide, but that's not the point at all. I don't want anyone to know when I'm taking a shower. If I want people to know, I can tell them, but who would be interested in that? It's totally not interesting at all, you know. It's only interesting to the people who sell you electrical power, because then they can ramp up the prices at that time of the day when they know that you will be taking a shower. Yes, China with the social credit system, is, you know, and all that, it's coming. And we need to fight against that, you know. It's my social credit. I don't know. I don't know. I think that would be okay. But what if it was not? Like, what if they made a rule you can't? I don't know. I don't know. Trying to think about something that would lower my social credit. Well, I'm not married. I have kids, and we have lived together for many years. But I'm not married. No, I don't know. I don't have any debt. I don't. But who knows? What if something happens, you know, and everything is being watched. Everything you do, it's creepy. Yes, it is. It's absolutely creepy, and I think actually the politicians who are allowing this to be implemented should be held accountable and um, punished for that. Actually, that's my honest opinion, because they are, you know, any politician in any government is our employee. We hire them, we vote for them, and they work for us. Um, and if you have a business, like your country is your business, okay, and you're part owner in that business, which is your country, and you have some employees, and that's, you know, your politicians. Um, and if you have an employee in a business that you own, and that employee not doesn't do a good job, you will fire that person. But if that person does something that hurts you, you will there will be a criminal charge against that person, of course. So what the politicians are doing now with 5G is they should be held accountable for that. That's my honest opinion. Now let's see. We fight back by going off the grid, working with our hands, making the things we. This is Dustin Emmett who says this. Working with our hands, making the things we need, and not relying so much on other entities to serve our needs. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Perry Colson says, we've discovered that the MPs in the UK don't care about the public and what they want. Look at Brexit. Yes. Now, I'm a Norwegian, so I'm not going to say yes or no, Brexit was wise or unwise. That's not up to me. That's not my. I need to be humble about that. But I understand when it comes to Brexit, you know, it's a perfect example of how democracies, how fragile they are, democracies. Because now you voted for Brexit, you want out of the EU, which I think is wise, but that's beside the point. But you voted for that, and if your politicians now don't get you out of the EU, you don't have a democracy. That's the simple truth there. It would be the same if you voted to remain and they got you out of the EU, then you wouldn't have a democracy. That's then you're out. I was going to say a rude word here, but then you're in trouble if you don't have a functional democracy. Representative democracy is not democracy. No, but you had a direct vote there, so that's direct democracy. Yeah, but again, Jack says, until they tax you off your land, yeah, when you're off-grid, it's getting harder and harder to find land without, you know, people are coming. I have to stop this live stream in a couple of minutes, but I'm actually I'm looking closely on my cell phone. We're going to look at some properties, and I want a place without, oh, lights on. I want a place without 5G. We don't have 5G here now, but if there's a very good, you know, reception, mobile reception, I suspect that there will be 5G there. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I think I'll just say thank you for joining this live stream, and I think it's time for breakfast here now. And yeah, okay. Bye bye.